Okay, so this is an impromptu video where we're going to be talking about Hamilton's move to Ferrari. Obviously, it's a massive move, and it's one that I guess no one saw coming at least this close, because Mercedes had allegedly signed a 2-year deal to see him to the end of 2025. It seems like that wasn't like a 2-year deal that extends to 2025, more like a 1+1 option where Lewis has the chance to extend, or he has a release clause at the end of 2024. It seems he's activated that release clause, and Ferrari have a new driver. Obviously, there are a variety of reasons to go to Ferrari. Ferrari have the biggest following of any team in Formula One by a very long stretch. The fan base and the fame and the prestige of driving with that red team is literally like no other. Even with Hamilton dominating in his most prominent Mercedes years, it couldn't go unnoticed how Ferrari were just there waiting to be had. And they did send him a few offers over the years, which he did reject, obviously, because he was in a dominant Merc car. But now it seems, with Merc being on back-to-back, I wouldn't say losing streaks, but definitely back-to-back cars that Hamilton was not very happy with, him calling many emergency meetings after races, him saying that the engineers aren't listening to him. And maybe he saw the 2024 car and he thought, this is the last straw, I need to make a move. And he's spoken with Fred Vasseur, which begs the question that he must think that Ferrari are most certainly going to have a better package in 2025. And by that extension, Ferrari are going to have a better car this year than Mercedes. I can't help but think that if Lewis Hamilton did see the 2024 Mercedes and it was looking extremely competitive, it did look really fast in the simulator, you know, all of the testing, it looked like a car that was going to be challenging for the championship or even close to winning races in the championship, that he would stay. So that leads me to believe that the Merc of 2024 is not that similar to the Merc of 2023 or 2022. Couple that with Mercedes having many departures. I would say the most significant is James Vowles going to Williams as team principal, but also James Allison, who left in 2021 to I think it was the boat sailing team. I can't remember what the name is of the team, but he left to join the Ineos team, which meant he was no longer in charge of creating the car. And obviously they had a bad season in 2022. He is back now as a technical director in 2024. However, his absence has surely been missed, and many personnel have gone to Red Bull powertrains, but obviously they're making their new power units now since Honda were leaving. So a lot of people have gone to Red Bull powertrains and Aston Martin, because Aston Martin and Lawrence Stroll have been doing a massive rebuild and they've been poaching a lot of Mercedes guys. So as a whole picture, I'm sure Hamilton is looking at the fact that people are leaving. The car looks very similar to last year. It doesn't look like it's going to be changing very soon. And he's thinking, even if I have 5 more years in the game, by the time 2026 rolls around, is he still going to be able to challenge for a championship? And obviously he's spoken with Fred Vasseur. Fred Vasseur is obviously the team principal of Ferrari. He's also the GP2 and GP3 team principal that Lewis had when he was racing of the FIA Formula Series. Those two seem to have a good relationship, and it seems like Lewis has come to an agreement with him, and Fred Vasseur seems to be able to show him something that maybe Mercedes don't have. Obviously, this begs the question, you can't have 3 drivers driving at Ferrari, which one will go? And in a previous video, I did state that Charles Leclerc is going to want to look for titles and Carlos Sainz is going to want to look to become the #1 driver. Well, we all knew that if a driver had to go, it would be there. Well, I know they say they don't have a #2 driver, but we all know who they treat as the #2 driver, which is Carlos Sainz. So he was the one that is going to go. Obviously, I don't think they've announced anything, but Carlos Sainz is going to go out of the two. They've just signed a new deal with Charles, which will see him go to at least 2027, and I don't see him letting go of Ferrari. He seems very happy at Ferrari, despite how bad things have been going or how mixed things have been going. And I guess the real last question is Hamilton going to be able to win a title at Ferrari, or will he end up like Vettel or Alonso or Massa, people who couldn't really recapture the power of Ferrari, that history, that essence of Ferrari, bringing them back to the top of the grid, bringing them back to the top of the podium and winning championships, constructors championships, drivers championships, and bringing their former glory back in the sport. I'm a massive Hamilton fan. I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. And this is probably the biggest news for Hamilton's legacy in F1. If he does go to Ferrari and win a championship, in my opinion, he will be solidified. He is already, in my opinion, the GOAT. But if he does win an 8th championship in Ferrari, he will be the undisputed GOAT, in my opinion. So this is a very big task. I'm sure this is something that he has thought about a lot, about his legacy. I'm sure he's thought about the fact that Senna, Vettel, Schumacher have drove for Ferrari. And, well, he's going to want to have a piece of that as well. So, in the end, there are many reasons why he should take that. Many reasons you could say maybe he shouldn't, because of loyalty. Him being a Mercedes-powered guy for the whole of his career would have been a great story. But at the end of the day, he is moving to Ferrari. And this could lead to a fiery season in 2024 inside the Mercedes camp, where Lewis could be treated as a bit of an outsider into their new plans for 2025, not being let into the new. Maybe he doesn't. Before, he wasn't really getting listened to on development. Now he really isn't going to be listened to, because the car won't be the car that he's driving, so they just won't bother listening to him. George would definitely be taking a step up this season. He's probably going to be favored a lot more this season, George. And so we're going to see a bigger shift this season. Let's see who comes out on top. And yeah, this is, I wouldn't say amazing news, but this is amazing news to kick off the F1 season. We had a very bad, silly season, this kind of pre-season for F1. And so this is the first ball that starts to roll, which does leave Carlos Sainz up in the air. Maybe he joined Mercedes for a straight swap, or maybe someone like Alonso leaves from Aston Martin to join Mercedes, and then Carlos Sainz joins Aston Martin. Then Lawrence Stroll says, I've had enough of Lance, and then Lance leaves. Everything's up in the air now. Ocon could come in. This is really big stuff. Maybe Valtteri Bottas wants to go back to the team. You never really know. So this is really exciting. Who knows? I'm sure other people's agents will be getting in contact with Mercedes. Maybe someone like Daniel Ricciardo, who is now an AlphaTauri, looks, okay, this could be my guaranteed shot. Instead of waiting for that seat in Red Bull, he contacts Toto Wolff to get into Mercedes. Who knows? A lot of speculation to go down now, and the 2024 season has just begun.